Shelby County Clerk Wanda Halbert is not backing down even as a second ouster case moves forward. Halbert spoke out this week after the state appeals court revived the latest attempt to remove her from office. She also addressed claims of unpaid rent tied to her Millington office, saying Mayor Lee Harris is responsible for those payments. Documents obtained by ABC24 show the lease is in the mayor's name, not the clerk's. Halbert and her attorney say they're ready to fight both issues in court.
The resolution specifically states that Shelby County government will pay that lease. Without there's no ifs, ands, and buts about here. The clerk's office don't write checks for leases.
The Shelby County government historically was paying that, and at some point, I think we now do a procurement notification. So now they're asking for approval to pay for it. But we don't directly see financials.
Now, in response to Halbert's claims, ABC24 received a statement from the Shelby County Mayor's office. County officials maintain Halbert is responsible for paying rent from her own budget. The Mayor's office claims they only covered back rent in 2023 to keep services running after the clerk's office failed to pay for several months. This is a confusing topic here. It's a lot of finger pointing, but Scott, I want to ask you, who is at fault?
I think it falls directly on Wanda Halbert. She is the clerk, and she should know what her lease is. She's basically the CEO of the clerk's office, and whether the county was paying it, she should be aware of that, and she should know when that payment's going to stop and when she's supposed to pick it up. And she could have headed this off at the pass when it first started and first erupted, but apparently it's gone unpaid for numerous months, if not a year or two. And she, as the clerk, as the head of the office, she should have been aware of it, and she should have taken action to fix it.
Why does it seem like the clerk and Mayor Harris are fighting through the media or not just meeting with each other?
That I can't explain what their relationship is. I know the clerk is a constitutional office from the state of Tennessee and has its own powers, but there has to be collaboration. And the mayor could have brought this to Wanda earlier, and they could have worked it out, but apparently that wasn't done. But at the end of the day, the clerk is responsible for her offices and her budget.
Yeah, that's true. And Luke, we know that Wanda Halbert's ouster case is moving forward, and there's a court date for that. It seems like she's always just fighting for her life in this position, but is it worth the fight?
As somebody who had to get tags a couple of months ago and waited in line, I wish she did not think it was worth the fight. I mean, it really is horrible. Lines at all of the offices. And this is not the first time that she has had an issue with rent. There was that location at Poplar and Highland where rent went unpaid. I think she was that office was basically evicted in a way. But look, I don't know why she thinks it's worth the fight. She may need the paycheck. I agree. Mayor Harris clearly is not happy with her, has not been happy with her for years. And getting them in a room together, I don't know that it will work. I mean, we've already tried mediation, apparently, and that didn't work. I don't know what happened there. It was short-lived mediation, so we'll see. But I would love nothing more than Wanda to say this is not worth it. Maybe I'll let somebody else take it for the next year and a half before the next election. But
I think on the mediation, and I'd like to know who, I saw in the news reports that the mediation didn't happen because somebody didn't show. Now, who didn't show?
Ooh, interesting.
We had reported that she said it wasn't her team that pulled out, but, it seemed like it was a little ambiguous there. So what is the solution, Otis, moving forward?
Well, I mean, I raised the solution many years ago to your point, Luke. She should have resigned. I have called on her to resign in the past. She didn't do it, but now we are less than a year from her leaving office anyway. And, I looked at that lease agreement, and they are right. Unless there's another lease agreement somewhere, it doesn't have her name on it. It is a lease agreement between the Shelby County government on behalf of the clerk. So maybe the mayor is responsible for making sure that this gets paid. I agree that she should know about it. She's the clerk. But there's just a lot of piling on here. And I've also found out recently that she has another attorney who is looking into issues about whether she is a victim of some civil rights violations here by people who have been going after her. I mean, don't blame the messenger here. I'm just telling you what I know to be a fact. And I don't mind putting the lawyer's name out there who's investigating this. It's Duncan Ragsdale. And he's a longtime lawyer in this town, has run for office as a Republican before. And he believes that she is being unfairly persecuted here and defamed, and they are looking into some federal civil rights allegations.
And I had a question posed to me. Who's paying all these attorney fees for her?
That is a good question. It just feels like it's excuse after excuse from her, and apparently there's a new excuse that we haven't heard from her yet, and so she's going to try it.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
It's like, come on.
Okay, well, that one was full. I love that conversation there. We're going to leave that one. We come back. The Vice President of the United States visited the Mid-South. We'll get into that visit and the turnout from that event coming up.